Joining us for this discussion is publisher and member of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, Chief Dele Momodu. Thank you very much for joining us.
Morning, and thank you for inviting me. Chief
Momodu, let's begin with the most recent conversation we had about the FCT by-elections. And many Nigerians are asking if INEC redeemed itself after the controversies of 2023, or did it further erode public trust? We just finished a conversation with Mr. Alphonsus Egga, who thinks INEC did phenomenally well, and he applauded President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for doing a great job, regardless of some of the controversies surrounding the elections. But let's get your thoughts. Are you impressed with the outcome of the by-elections?
Not at all. You see, Nigeria is a country where today people just praise government anyhow for whatever reasons. So, of course, I'm a member of opposition. My duty is not to praise an election that was shambolic. I mean, an election in which an interested party, an interested minister was allowed to go from polling unit to polling unit, saying he's monitoring someone that you know is so tempestuous and is extremely interested in the election. He was being allowed to roam about. So they should have allowed members of other parties also to roam about. Maybe they will allow our national chairman, a retired army general, to go from polling unit to polling unit to say he wants to be sure that election is free and fair. I mean, I don't know. I've almost virtually given up on our country. People justify anything. Anything you say, oh yeah, what do you expect? He's a member of APC. Look, that election was extremely bad. Even look at how many people came out to vote. Unilaterally, suddenly, you know, a minister says, so the president instructed him to shut down Abuja, to declare a curfew. That's not an election. So are you going to declare curfew when you have national election nationwide, so nobody will go out again because they want to vote? People vote all over the world freely. They go about their businesses. I witnessed an election in Ghana in 2024. Nobody was stopped. You go and vote, and if you decide you want to monitor your vote, you stay there. Nobody will harass you. They'll just tell you keep some distance so you can see what we are doing. Nigeria is going backwards under APC. It's a shame. APC needs to be ashamed of itself that we cannot conduct an election in one city in Abuja peacefully. People cannot come out to go to wherever they registered. Some people got there, they could not find their names. I mean, and you tell me, oh, it was a fantastic election. We shouldn't do this for our country. It seems we hate our country so much that we just talk nonsense these days. And we are people who claim to have fought for this democracy. So what are we talking about? That the Abuja election, how many people came out to vote in Abuja? And then you allow a minister who had boasted that he would deliver the FCT to APC. He will deliver. This is a member of a different party, PDP, or so he claims. There is nothing wrong if a minister is from a different party and is facing the job they gave him. But when a minister comes out to now face a job for which he was not engaged, then that is very dangerous for our democracy. Now we have reduced some governors, some ministers, to people who will now undertake, you know, the task of bullying people so that they will not lose the election. It's unfortunate.
Very unfortunate, and that's what so many people in civil society and opposition and also ordinary Nigerians are saying about the conduct of the FCT minister. But in Mr. President's statement that was released yesterday with regards to the FCT elections and the by-elections in different parts of the country, Mr. President did have positive things to say about the FCT minister, which makes you question his credentials as a Democrat. They're saying that, I mean, some people have used this argument. Our last guest said The FCT minister is like the chief security officer of the FCT, so it has the right, sort of, to move around and observe. And we pushed back, saying, look, this is a very interested party in the elections. He's a very huge supporter of the APC, and he shouldn't do that. What does this tell you about what we're headed to when the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces is saying, is this not going to egg him more to further erode our democracy? He's saying, look, I'm happy with the work you're doing.
Look, I was embarrassed. I was scandalized watching the president praise Minister Nyesom Wike. I was really embarrassed because once upon a time we fought against the military in this country. And so how can we now replace a military dictatorship with civilian dictatorship? It's absolutely absurd. And I don't know, maybe Mr. President feels that Wike alone can deliver the entire nation to him next year. So that's why he cannot correct him when it is going gaga. Because the man has gone gaga. Wike has enough links within the security agencies for them to brief him. And that if there is any riot or crisis anywhere, then they can inform him, then he can take appropriate action. But not when he goes like that, which is usual swagger and bullying people virtually. You know, you can intimidate people without even saying a word. That's what he did. Everybody in Nigeria today, including governors, watch Wike with trepidation. Everybody is scared of Wike. Wike in Abuja is virtually the de facto vice president. The vice president cannot do what Wike is doing in Abuja. And Tinubu is watching. Why? Because he needs Wike next year for his own election. So you unleash him on the nation. But I know that whenever this would end, as it would surely end one day, the president will look back and he will regret what he has done to our democracy. Because this is not what we promised Nigerians when we were fighting the military. That's why it's unfortunate. I mean, how do you do an election in a small city? Abuja is not even a state. It's not a big place where you will say, oh, there will be crisis. And that's where you have the headquarters of all the security agencies in the country. So if they are not able to manage an election in small Abuja with all the security agencies domiciled there, so how are you now going to monitor elections nationwide? My prediction is that APC knows that the numbers are not adding up. They know they cannot win election in a free and fair contest. So they now need to upgrade thuggery to the level of the highest officers of the land, which is unfortunate because if governors are threatening, governors are saying, if you are not in APC, we cannot give you jobs. Once you occupy a position of a state, you are for everybody. You are no longer partisan. You are no longer expected to be partisan. But unfortunately, we see a minister who is being paid by the federal government, who is given unlimited, unrestricted access to the wealth of the nation, and yet is so partisan that he believes that some Nigerians don't deserve to breathe or to exist because you are an agent of President Tinubu. We will see how it will end one day.
Okay. Later on, we will be joined by someone who was monitoring the elections, especially from the Collation Center. I will try as much as possible to get her views concerning the election, but we would like to leave the elections now and move to other very pressing issues. We've seen members of the ADC arrested. former governor of Kaduna State, former Attorney General of the Federation. We've seen a lot of conversations around, especially the recent issue that took place in Benin, Edo State. And not quite long, a worrisome tweet was put out. I hope I can get my producers to put that on the screen, following the attack of a bona fide member of the ADC. Engineer Tom Steve went on to say, "We warned Obi against his entrance into Edo State, but he mistook our resolve to his obedience." Online noise. Thank his stars he survived this one. I learned he's going to my river state. No wahala. Now my men go handle that one, and then them know they miss target. Speak no peace way. He calls him a bastard and wish him no long life, for he's destined to die one. Further search goes on to say that this engineer Tom Steve is actually a frequent user on X as well. I mean, with such statements being made carelessly and openly in the public, do you think that we truly have a democracy, one? And secondly, open threats, we've seen them being made by those at the top. What do you expect, especially from true supporters of the APC as well, like the one we just saw on the tweet?
The pattern is very clear. We were taught something in the literature in English in Ife in those days. It's called the sociological approach to literature. Before you know why people do what they do, you have to go and check their background. So there are too many men of no character in Nigerian politics today. They will do anything and everything necessary and possible to maintain their grip on power and commonwealth. I don't mind if the president can organize a good, a free and fair election and he wins, we shall congratulate him. But to tie down the hands and the legs of everybody and call that an election would be very, very unfortunate. And it is clear to me right now. You mentioned the ADC people who have been arrested and everything. Oh, that pattern did not start today. It started way back. And we've all continued to, as long as they committed crime. When the biggest guys are in government and they are untouchable. We see today governors who can afford private jets. We see ministers who can afford private jets. Nobody looks their way as long as they are using those jets for the good of APC. So ADC would, of course, have to contend with whatever the man at the top is doing at the moment. We would have to protest. We would have to reach out for help, the same way the president is reaching out to America for help to combat terrorism. It is the same way we need to reach out to our friends and allies all over the world to combat political terrorism in Nigeria. Because what we are going to witness in the next 1 year will be very serious. You saw what happened in my home state, Edo, just 2 days ago. How do you tell a Peter Obi, a Nigerian, a former governor, former presidential candidate, you tell him he cannot move freely in Edo State? I can't understand it. That very venue that was used 2 days ago was the venue where I declared on January 15th for ADC. And we organized everything, it went well. So maybe because I'm not Peter Obi, so Peter Obi must be a threat to them for them to get that frenetic. So the fear of Peter Obi, especially in the southeast, in the south, and other parts of Nigeria, is the beginning of wisdom. So they know that for Tinubu to win, just a minute, sir. For Tinubu to win election next year, he will need to lock out the entire South, and they can see that that is almost becoming impossible. He needs all the 3 states all the 3 regions in the south, and then maybe we get one in the north central. That's their permutation. So they have to do everything to repress and suppress the southeast, the south-south, and the southwest. That is the problem. If you don't get that, then we're just playing games.
Now, Chief Momodu, the current APC government in Edo State has pushed back and said they are not responsible for what happened, the incident, the attacks on ADC officers. They said that it was an internal ADC crisis and that it's a dispute, internal dispute within your party. How would you respond?
But before you respond to that, I actually want us to quote the governor's response, right? And why this is important again is because there have been online speculations linking the government and blaming the government. And in case you're wondering why they're blaming the government, we'll share with you in a video the statement of the governor while, some weeks back, as well as much later share the video of the attack. But let's take a look at the video of the governor so that we can see the connection as to why people are bringing this up.
I am sending a direct message to him. There is a new sheriff in town. He cannot come to Edo without telling me. I am serious about it. He came the other day and donated 15 million. By the time he left, there was crisis. 3 people died in Benin. So for that reason, tell Obi he should not come to Edo without telling me.
That is a video that is credited to the governor, and I'm now going to read the statement from the governor in reaction to the attacks against the ADC. He said, of course, the governor, Monday Okpowolo of Edo State, has condemned the recent assault on members of the ADC, characterizing the incident as an escalation of internal party conflict that has gone excessively far. He noted that it was regrettable that certain individuals allegedly exploited Edo State's peaceful environment to incite violence. And then he says that no political blackmail would weaken the support of Edo residents for their government. He believes that this is some form of political blackmail and condemned the use of violence by politicians or individuals seeking electoral advantage, asserting that such actions demonstrate a lack of integrity and respect for the electorate. I wanted to give you a full picture of everything, and for viewers who are wondering why we're bringing in the government into this. So please, if you may respond.
Personally, will not accuse anyone without having the facts. But we have a saying in Yoruba, the witch cried yesterday and the child dies today. Who does not know that it was the witch of yesterday that killed the child? So it's unfortunate that my own governor in my state, with all due respect to him, would order a fatwa, or that's what I would call it, against a fellow Nigerian who was once a governor like him. Peter Obi, from all indication, will never invest in thuggery. His supporters can campaign for him vigorously on social media, but I've never seen anywhere where they unleash terror on anybody. So it's unfortunate, but I am telling you, a lot of our governors are crying louder than the bereaved. It's like, I don't know what jazz they've used on them, that everybody is fighting. They are fighting for attention. They are fighting to prove who is the bigger thug, who can fight on behalf of Tinubu. Tinubu must win by all means. And what they all forget is that if a man in his first term can capture the bodies and souls of Nigerians this way, so what will he do when he now has power for the second term, when he no longer needs anybody? So what would then happen is that you have a full-blown dictatorship, and all of them will now be at his mercy. I hope they know what they are doing. I hope they are giddiness. will calm down. They need to calm down their giddiness because they don't seem to know that a dictator will bite anybody who crosses his path. So if they think, is Yahaya Bello not in their party? Go and ask what was Yahaya Bello's problem. Is he the biggest of all of them that they claim, stole government money? So it tells you that nobody is safe. Whether you are Yahaya Bello, for as long as you are useful to them, you are okay. And then do they think they will be in power forever? Would Malami, one of our own today in ADC, have ever expected, and this was our Minister of Justice and Attorney General, would he have ever expected that he will be in detention today? Or not to talk of Malam, Nasir El-Rufai, if you count 3-4 people who helped Tinubu to power, El-Rufai will be one of them. Where is El-Rufai today? It's languishing in detention. Now they are postponing his arraignment and everything. So nobody knows tomorrow. And that's why I keep telling people, let us end this rat race. Every government that comes blames the last government. APC was the last government in power. Now, a few months after Buhari left power, a few months after Buhari passed on to the great beyond, his own party is rubbishing his legacy, attacking its men and women. Is that not to tell you that when tomorrow comes, some people are also going to rubbish Tinubu's government? They are going to attack his men and women. Do we need that? When Tinubu was governor and they were arraigning him at the Code of Conduct Tribunal, a lot of us came out to fight that no, it's a witch hunt. It was not to defend him that whether what he did was right or wrong. No, it's to say don't pick on people only when they are in opposition. We must get to that stage where what is good for the goose will be sauce for the gander. That's all I have to say about it. So I pray that my governor will not go that route, that my governor will calm down, because all he needs to do is do a good job. And I can see he's doing some things. I watched him, he brought Wicked there a few days ago to commission, but you are not going to be in power forever. So be nice to everybody, be gentle. You have nothing to be afraid of if you do your job well. That's all. I'm a Democrat. I have nothing against the governor. I don't know if he knew about it, but it is very tempting for anyone to believe that Obi was the target of that attack. Whatever squabble they claim existed within ADC was just something that could be settled within the house. I was at that very venue on January 15, and the people, all the principal parties, including Chief Oyegun and all of them, they were with me that day in that place. But the only person that was absent was Obi. So that's why it's very tempting for me to believe that maybe Obi was the one who got them very angry, and they had to attack.
Okay. All right. We'd like to look into these issues of thuggery. At the just concluded elections, there was not ballot snatching, but we did hear of papers that were snatched, with the exception of some police officers, which video footage shows proof that they also came along with these snatchers, as it were. I would also like to get your take on the newly appointed acting IGP. But please do hold on as we'll go for a quick break. When we come back, Breakfast Central continues shortly. Thanks for staying with us here on Breakfast Central. We're looking at the issues bedeviling Nigeria's politics, as it were. Our guest is a seasoned publisher, not forgetting too, he's also a member of the ADC. And we will be talking to him a little bit more. We do have Chief Dele Momodu, who joins us here this morning on Breakfast Central. Right before the break, we talked about the issue that we saw during the just concluded by-elections, where ballot papers, not the box this time, were carted away by a few persons in support of the police force. As we did see members of the Nigerian police, video footage proves that. So we're not just saying it, it's there for the records. What do you make of the situation where the police are being used, especially on issues that shouldn't even affect or concern the Nigerian police? And what's your take on the newly appointed Acting Inspector General of Police, one whom I know that you also know so well?
Well, let me start by congratulating News Central for the good job you are doing. I follow you very keenly, and we must also encourage ourselves, but because you go beyond and behind the news. And I hope that more and more Nigerians will be able to tune in to your station. You are doing a marvelous job.
Thank you very much.
I will also congratulate our very dear brother, the new IG in waiting, because I think he still has to be, his appointment needs to be ratified, but I'm sure he will get it. He's a gentleman that everyone knows very well, especially those of us within the Lagos circuit. I pray that if we do well, he's a man with a wealth of experience, and you can see it in his sporadic promotions over time. So I followed him quite keenly. So I expect, and he has the full backing of the president. He was once an ADC to Governor Tinubu in Lagos State. So I expect him to enjoy the confidence of the president. So he would have no excuse to say, oh, I'm not able to do this, I'm not able to do that. There is an issue that I would want him to address. And I mentioned it on your station once, when they said, oh, they should withdraw VIP escorts, they should do this. With what happened in Edo 2 days ago. And I warned at that time, I said, this thing might be targeting opposition. People abused me. You know, experience is the best teacher. I'll be 66 in May, and I know my country very well. And I know, like Ifabiola used to say, that you can't hide behind one finger. You can't. So the time has come now for them to give opposition maximum security. God forbid if they had killed Peter Obi 2 days ago, where would we be? So we have to be fair to all. APC is not no matter how much they try, they are not the only party in Nigeria. There are other parties and they must exist. We don't want a situation where they will injure members of opposition, and then all that Tinubu will offer is a condolence written by my former Oga at African Concord, Bayo Nonuga. We are very quick at controlling people. It's getting very dangerous. So I don't envy him. I don't envy Mr. Dizu at all, because he's coming at a very delicate period. 2027 for APC is beginning to look like a matter of life and death, that if they don't win, the world must end. So I pray for him. Okay. He has my best wishes. I saw him with his lovely mom yesterday. I posted on my Instagram page. I saw him. So the prayers of his mom and his ancestors made it go with him.
Okay, finally, Chief Momodu, before we wrap up this interview, there's so many Nigerians that have lost hope in the political class, and all you have to do is just look at the numbers of Nigerians that came out to vote in the municipal council elections in Abuja and different elections. Some feel, I mean, the burden lies with the INEC in terms of voter education. Some also say the opposition is not pulling its weight and doing enough, because there are a number of people that feel, 2027 is a foregone conclusion. You have 30 governors in the APC, so why do we even bother in the first place? And they look at the composition of the ADC, that it's filled with former members of the APC. So what's your message to Nigerians, and why is it important for them to be active in the political process and to really, really come out and vote?
Number one, opposition is not a political party. Opposition is every one of us. I don't know why people think, oh, some people will go and fight on their behalf. So we are the lambs of God who will take away the sins of the earth. No. Opposition is any Nigerian who is opposed to bad governance. Opposition is every Nigerian who feels that Tinubu does not deserve a second time, that if you have failed in a class, you are not allowed to go to the next class. So that's that. Then this idea of, oh, if we have 36 governors in APC, it's automatic. Governors are not masquerades from heaven. They are human beings like us. Wike, with all the bravado, did G5 in the last election. 5 governors. They were together. 3 of them, Enugu, Benue, Abia State, contested as incumbent governors just for senatorial seats. They all lost. People forget our contemporary history. People have already forgotten that 3 out of G5 governors contested as senators in elections that they supervised in their own state, and they all lost. So what are we talking about? Forget about it. When tomorrow comes, unless they use their thuggery, unless they use maximum force on Nigerians, there is no way APC can win that election. I guarantee you, there is no way. Because elections, I watched a program today where a man was giving us all the statistics. In Nigeria, number 1 is ethnicity. Number 1 consideration is ethnicity. Number 2 is religion. Of course, number 3, President Tinubu has that in abundance. That's money. But if Nigerians are determined, they will put shame to all that money. I'm seeing they've already started campaigning. They've engaged some guys, city boys, city this, city that. They're already campaigning. I'm not even sure if INEC has declared the electoral process open. But we're dealing with reckless and people that nobody can control. They can do anything virtually and get away with it. So let's watch. But I guarantee you, it's a waste of time. If Nigerians rise up, instead of sitting down to say, oh, opposition is not serious. Who is the opposition that is not serious? The biggest party in every country is what I call the floaters party. When the floaters who are waiting at home, when we went to detention in 1993, people sat down at home, they were still abusing us. When we were forced into exile to be able to fight another day, people were still abusing us. Oh, they ran away. Look, I will do what I can do, play my own part. My part, is media. That's why I'm here speaking. That's all God has given me. So I don't have guns. I don't have anything to fight anybody. I don't have the powers of a minister to go around roaming on the day of election. So let people stop blaming opposition for everything. We are all in opposition. Anybody who is a sufferer is an opposition. Anybody who doesn't want APC is an opposition. So please play your own part and stop waiting for ADC or Labour or anybody, because heaven helps those who help themselves. Thank you so much.
Well, Chief Momodu, thank you very much for this very insightful conversation we've had with you this morning, and always answering when we call. We look forward to speaking with you again.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you so much.